It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ulike.com. U-Like.
All right, it's the Pete Sousa Show, and we're coming to you from Pittsburgh this morning, fresh off the Big 12 Media Days where they gave me a snapback hat, so you guys don't have to see my bedhead today. After some travel uncertainty that got me here to Pittsburgh at like 1 a.m., which was later than anticipated, but still, we're here, we're safe, it's all good. We've got a lot to talk about this morning. Pittsburgh's the kind of place, by the way, I can get down with Pittsburgh. And here's why. This morning, I needed a cord for my microphone, which, by the way, I went and got it and it didn't work. Fine. Scotty and I rallied, and this is pretty good. I mean, when you consider everything that's going on right now. So I go to Target, and as I'm walking in Target, I'm right by the Pittsburgh airport. You know, if you know Pittsburgh better than me, you kind of know that area, probably 10 minutes outside of the airport. And this woman is on the phone and she is freaking out outside of Target. You know, it's like 9:15. She's yelling, saying the F word. I effing told you where I was gonna go and where I was gonna be. I'm like, wow. And then I was thinking to myself, I wonder if those two are, they're probably involved in a romantic relationship. And that certainly doesn't seem like romance. Uh, anyways, as the yelling continues, right? The woman yelling on the phone. A woman walks by me, like, you know, a woman probably like in her 60s or 70s, and she just looks at me and goes, goodness. Like, you know, it's like, you know, Pittsburgh, it reminds me of Philly. Like, we have people like that who are yelling at a significant other at tone deaf levels at 9 in the morning in a parking lot. And also people like myself and that lovely woman who will always be there to judge them and be like, good Lord, what is happening with society? So that was a funny start to my morning. You know, you try to keep some levity when you get back and the microphone doesn't work, but there's so much to get to today. At first I thought we weren't going to be able to do a show. I called Scotty yesterday. I was worried. I was like, you know, Visser was smart. He was like, let's not do a guest. There's too much going on. And plus you'll have a lot of stuff from Big 12 Media Days where I was yesterday for NBC. And I do. And I guess you could say I was there for NBC and ESPN, but I was there for NBC. I saw a lot of ESPN folks that I work with, but it was a cool experience. And I'll get to the whole media days situation and just news and notes and kind of like a potpourri thing in a couple moments. You know, our show is presented by Slovakics wherever we are, right? If we're in Pittsburgh or Peru, we're going to be presented by Slovakics because Slovakics kicks ass. And thanks to Ray and everybody involved over there for making this happen. And of course, Socorro Family Ford, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, Crawford Austin Properties, man. Our man Gordon Collier always taking care of us. And the First National Bank of Central Texas, right? Dan Ingham was chatting with him this morning. We will have his pick for you coming up. And maybe later tomorrow as we head into the weekend. Babe Loffenberg's going to join us tomorrow to preview the Cowboys. And I was talking to my buddy yesterday at Big 12 Media Days. And look, all I'm going to say is we were talking Cowboys, somebody who you don't need to know, but we were talking Cowboys, and Cowboys fans are now starting to think the Cowboys are good. Okay. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Okay. Cowboys fans, the most pessimistic of fans, because a lot of Cowboys fans, even though they get blamed and labeled obnoxious, they're starting to have a little bit more faith. It's almost like inverted now with Cowboys fans. Like there are some cool fans who have hope, and that takes away from the obnoxious fans who have seemingly had the last like 2 years off from being obnoxious because there just hasn't been any opportunity. But I have to start off this morning with Chauncey Billups. Like, what the hell is going on? And I think this is a story that's being grossly okay, let me say this. I don't think that anyone right now knows how to cover this story. Specifically, my favorite people in the world, my friends at ESPN. It is awkward when I wake up in the morning and I see an alert to my phone from Shams Charania from ESPN that says Chauncey Billups has been arrested, a head coach in the NBA, as part of a gambling probe. And I turn on SportsCenter and I see the SportsCenter anchors doing a great job at what they do, but they're talking about Trailblazers highlights like nothing happened. And the world that I grew up in, right? Let's see if I can straighten this hat out. The world that I grew up in, this Big 12 logo is huge, right? The world that I grew up in, oh, I'm talking about my hat if you're listening to the audio version. ESPN, you would have turned it on and it's like, okay, we've got live coverage now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. We have a reporter outside the Blazers facility, right? We have breaking news on our desk. We have, maybe it's Greenberg because you know he's there for Get Up. Maybe you've got Shams there. Maybe you have Stephen A. Smith who's somewhere where they can connect to him, right? He's probably on the air right now. And I think this becomes the big story. Like 5 years ago, that is the scenario that plays out before us. 5 years ago. Now, and people write about it all the time, and maybe it's an approach that ESPN is looking to take. Again, like this is no knock at my employer. but it's like, okay, now I think there's an honest acceptance there. Like, we don't really have the horses right now to throw at this. And all things being equal, transparency, Chauncey used to work with us, right? Christy, I love you too. I haven't gotten a chance to send you a message yet this morning because we've had major technical issues, and I was up till 1 o'clock. That was Christy, my fiance. So I think like there's an acceptance of like, we're not the breaking news organization that we once were, right? Now, they're still a news organization, but breaking news is different. You have to know exactly what the facts are. You have to have people very close to the scene that can report the facts accurately. And most times, these breaking news organizations aren't so entrenched in a relationship with the league in question here, and right now the NBA. That's what makes it super complicated from a breaking news aspect. Now, because everything's happening so fast, will somebody come up with a brilliant feature and tell us exactly what was happening in a day or so? And will they come from ESPN? For sure. But there was a lack of information that I'm usually accustomed to in a situation like this that I feel like I'm not getting this morning. Maybe I need to do a little more work. Again, I am behind schedule. But I want to read to you the exact story, exactly what is going on as of now, because you can understand from a content standpoint and from maybe a journalism standpoint why ESPN maybe backed off from this story a little bit this morning. And again, full transparency, remember, Chauncey worked for ESPN for a long time, and everybody loves Chauncey. And when you read this, you sort of understand maybe why they weren't running with it, right? Again, I'm wrong. You know, I'm wrong. Change is definitely happening on the one end. I'm right about that. But this is why you don't just rush to judgment, because here's the story as of like 5 minutes ago. Okay. This is reported by the Associated Press. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has been charged in a sweeping federal probe into an alleged illegal poker scheme tied to an organized crime. The 49-year-old NBA champion with the Pistons was arrested in Oregon Thursday morning, the night after coaching his team in their season opener. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, aka Scary Terry. I used to call my mom Scary Terry sometimes and mess with her. Her name's Terry, obviously. Was charged in a separate, Rozier was, but related illegal gambling case. Now, Billups, here's the Billups part. An NBA Hall of Famer has been charged with partaking in an alleged illegal poker ring tied to the Gambino, Bonanno, and Genovese crime families. I mean, by the way, congratulations to those crime families for still being in existence, because I watched that Netflix doc on the Philadelphia mob yesterday on the plane, and like, I was under the impression that that's a pretty difficult career to continue. Talking about mobs, especially with all like those RICO laws and anything. More details and everything I meant to say. A total of 31 people across the country are charged with running rigged games, which took place in Manhattan, the Hamptons, and Las Vegas, sources say. The players involved were being paid by mobsters to play in card games fixed with technology and card shuffling machines to give the house the advantage. The athletes were told to take a dive when they had to and to win when they were told. It didn't appear as if they were attempting to pay off any debts, sources say. It goes on. This is super interesting. Former NBA player Damon Jones, 49, who spent 11 years in the league with multiple teams, was also charged in the FBI's investigation, according to sources. Rozier previously had been under investigation for unusual betting activity during his time with the Hornets. Now we're back on the basketball court, specifically a March 2023 contest. However, the NBA didn't find any violation. Rozier's attorney, Jim Trusty, said his client met with the NBA and FBI officials during 2023. Okay, so here's what we got, dude. Billups is scheduled to make his initial, one more piece of news. Billups is scheduled to make his initial appearance in Oregon federal court on Thursday, but will eventually appear in Brooklyn federal court in the Eastern District of New York, which handled the case against DeJounte Porter. Remember, he's out of the league. Billups, a five-time All-Star, was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Prosecutors and FBI Director Kash Patel, interesting wrinkle there, are expected to announce further details about the alleged schemes at a press conference in Brooklyn Thursday morning. Also named in a sweeping case is reputed mob gangster Tony Giraldo. So, whoa, okay? So you're telling me, like, basically they're saying, and these games, I know this a little bit from having worked in pro sports. Like, these games have been going on for a long time. Like, if a player from Philly is on a road trip in New York City, they will find underground card games that you play with millionaires, guys with big time money. Obviously they're illegal, they're off the books, but hey, it's kind of like, let's look away, right? Like big time law enforcement, the FBI, New York City police, because there's enough stuff going on out here in the streets that is kind of, we can look over here when that's happening over there. Okay. But if you're telling me that the House now has card shuffling machines where they're going to find a way to gain an advantage, you get professional sports athletes at these tables, right? To lend credibility and also attraction. It's like you just won a experience auction, right? To play cards with a Chauncey Billups, you're shoulder to shoulder with him. And maybe you're both losing money. Oh, damn. Meanwhile, Chauncey's not going to have to pay his, right? Because he's there as part of the whole deal. Crazy. Now, obviously, all alleged, but whoa. And guys, you don't want like the Eastern District or the Southern District of New York to come knocking at your door. Even I know that. That's bad news because one, the feds don't lose in court, and two, when you're in their crosshairs, like you're in their crosshairs until, historically, until the book is closed on you. So these are scary times for Chauncey, and I hope, like, dude, I've made a million mistakes, and I am not here to say I don't understand how someone would get caught up in this. It's a bad decision. It's not the right move to make, but I don't know what led up to this. We don't know if it's true. I'm like, there's no judgment here coming from this show or from me. But man, what a story, dude. I mean, what a story. On the day after the NBA on TNT or the ESPN, TNT guys debut on ESPN inside the NBA. How about I just call it that? Make it easier. Just a wild, fascinating story that I know we'll learn more about in the coming days, weeks, months. But scary stuff. If you're like a hardcore NBA fan, or if you're Adam Silver, again, we are prisoners of the moment now with the news cycle. But this one isn't going anywhere. Like, this is not one of those stupid stories you see come across your timeline that is here today, gone tomorrow. This is a big deal. This will be around for a while. And the further and further we go down, November 1st, college athletes are now it's going to be totally fine for them to bet on pro sports. We are walking through doors now as a society in pro sports that we're not going to be able to go back through, at least not anytime soon. And we're putting athletes and coaches, again, at their own behest. They're adults, but we're putting them in vulnerable situations, leaving them up to their own devices to make some of these decisions where you could find yourself in a real tough spot. And by the way, credit to ESPN. Now we are getting that wall-to-wall coverage. I'm looking over at Get Up right now, and I see all these guys talking. I don't see any of the basketball guys really, but they're getting into this like a little wall-to-wall. Shams was just there, like I said. I would have hoped to have seen with Greenberg going back and forth. That is a crazy story. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I will bring you through some of the sights and sounds of Big 12 Media Days. Couple things off the top. Baylor has players that you just have to love because they're amazing. Tunde Yesufu, got to meet him yesterday, be around him. And just another like special Scott Drew guy. You want to talk about, and I know Baylor fans don't want to hear this. You want to talk about easy guys to root for. Woo! The Baylor Bears. But guess what? I got bad news for you. Bill Self. Bill Self looks like Brad Pitt. Okay? That can't be good news for anybody. Like the bully on the block, right? Just lost 20 pounds and is now the best looking guy on the block. And you know he's got the ability to kick your ass because he used to do it over and over again. Scary times for Big 12 opponents. The Pete Sousa Show is going to step aside. We're presented by Slovakics. We're coming back from Pittsburgh after this break.
Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Okay, the Pete Sousa Show is back. We're in Pittsburgh. We are So happy you're with us. We're going to get into why we're in Pittsburgh and some of the sights and sounds from Big 12 Media Days from the basketball side of it in just a moment. But some more on this case has come to light. Right now, the FBI is holding a press conference. Here are some of the highlights as I go over to my news anchor desk here. Okay. Current and former NBA players and coaches, Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones have been arrested. Okay. We knew that. But this is a case now that the feds are saying involves La Cosa Nostra, the Italian mafia. Okay. Charges include illegal gambling, wire fraud, and extortion. And my perception or my idea of the situation was correct. These people, basically marks, were lured to play in these gambling games or these poker matches to say, hey, you're going to be playing with Chauncey Billups or you're going to be playing with Damon Jones. Like, it's going to be fun, you know, an NBA guy or NBA guys. So come play with us. And then they would go and they would lose their money. The Porter one, Dehante Porter, is even more interesting now. Apparently the feds are saying he was down like hundreds of thousands of dollars gambling. And he told the mob to bet on all of his player props in one game. And in that game, he left, right? He left the game. So all of his player props hit, and there were $200,000 that were won in those on that betting scheme. And the FBI is saying the money was counted at Porter's house, the 200,000 cash. Fascinating story, dude. You got the mob, you've got the NBA, you have an NBA head coach. Holy mackerel. I just saw some wise ass put on Twitter. It was a picture, like an AI picture of the Sopranos cast, like Tony and the guys playing poker, and Chauncey Billups is right in the middle. Man, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And you know, here's one of the here's the trickle down. And I promise I'm going to get to the Big 12 after this. But the trickle down is this. You know, by the way, the investigation is called Operation Nothing But Net. That's the gambling one, the Dehante Porter one. And then there's one called Operation Royal Flush, which is the Chauncey Billups one. But the FBI says defendants, right? Some of the defendants in this case, some of the people who were arrested at the same time in the same sweep with Chauncey Billups, they rob a victim at gunpoint. So now that you got stick-up kids in the street robbing someone, right, to acquire the rigged shuffling machine. So these are like tentacles now that go all throughout these crimes that ultimately can be traced back to, allegedly, some of the dudes that are high profile that are being charged in this. So this is like a crazy deal. The rigged poker games occurred in the Hamptons, Miami, Las Vegas, and in Manhattan. Let me see if there's anything else in here. I'll do one. The offsite operator knows the quarterback then sent the information. So, okay, we don't need to get into exactly how it went down. I'm smart enough where I can screw that up. All right, so there you have it. That's that. And of course, we will continue to follow that story. That's crazy. All right, so Big 12 Media Days, news and notes. All right, what I took away. One major thing I took away, okay, is that there's like the conference movement, right? I will just say this, and this is as much as I can say. Like the conference movement and conferences getting together and aligning themselves together is just getting started. Like in the future, I just would not be surprised if we see conferences that we're familiar with get with other conferences that we're familiar with. Not necessarily saying, okay, we're going to mix mosh, we're going to join together and play, have a 32 team league, right? But we are going to do a ton of stuff together. So when we're talking about my brand, we're talking about your brand, right? Like a ton of stuff. Conferences are, I think before you see a merged superpower of conference, like one conference or maybe like one or two, like there is going to be a lot of conferences playing off one another, and more so than just your, ACC Big 12 challenge. keep your eyes out for that. That's your little scoop that I uncovered. As far as other things around media day, I meant that Bill Self. Look at the pictures; it looked amazing. I was there for NBC. Like I said, I was in a room. I interviewed T.J. Otzelberger, Jerome Tang, P.J. Haggerty, um, Ross Hodge, um, Honor Huff. Uh, yeah, there's some right there. It was really cool. Jamie Dixon, I talked with a couple other players and coaches. The whole setup, they put you in makeup, which I of course need. Um, I have one funny story. So you're there at media day and you're there all day long. And I was the last guy, of course, because it's me, Jordan Cornette, Matt McCall, John Fanta. I met John Fanta. John Fanta, okay. You want to talk about something that literally, and I know he doesn't look, I'm just going to tell you how I perceive it. I perceive that John Fanta is a very nice guy. He knows that I'm joining NBC this year to call basketball games. He looks at the list. He becomes familiar with who I am before I get there. There were only 4 of us working for NBC yesterday that were there. Yeah, I think 4. So Fanta, I walk in the room, Pete Sousa, so happy we're working together. I'm like, well, I'm looking, yeah, and so I'm sitting there talking to Fanta. By the way, I'm nervous because I go in there, I walk in this room where we're doing these interviews. It's like the first day of school for me, and right away, and that's just like people and relationships, and right away, Fanta takes all my nerves at right away from me. Like, and we start talking about mutual friends we have. I'm like, hey, I saw you talked at my friend. You were with Dwayne Killings. Killings is the head coach at Albany. You talked to his school. He's like, DK. He's like, let's get a picture for Dwayne. And we take a picture. And so he made me feel pretty settled. And everybody from NBC was awesome. I got to see a lot of my friends from ESPN and the Big 12. The Big 12 does such an amazing job. I swear, I know I got the hat on. I'm the shill. I host Inside the 12. Watch it tonight on True TV and HBO Max and all your Big 12 media markets. But like, I'm telling you, they just do it better than everybody else. They had this amazing, like, every setup. First of all, it was like an amusement park. I think there were some kids there, VIP kids, but I mean, you should really set it up where kids can go. I don't know how you would do it because you still want to keep it an official media day, but it was like a celebration of the Big 12. And I want you to remember when it comes to basketball, this is, football's different. It's Big 10, it's SEC, and then it's Big 12, and then ACC, and then the rest, right? With basketball, it's different. The Big 12, you could say, is the best conference in the country. You could say that every year. You certainly could say it definitively 2 years ago. So it's like they do it the best all the way around, from the games on the court to the production off the court to where you can find their games. Now they're going to be on NBC and ESPN. I mean, it's just, it's really good stuff. So the Big 12 just does a phenomenal job all the way up to like the food there. It was a joke, dude. I was at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, but the food was just amazing. And it's a cool place. You can look it up, look at the sights and sounds, go to the Big 12's like YouTube page and all that stuff. You can see amazing stuff for the Big 12's Instagram and all that stuff. Funny story though, and I sent you a picture of AJ DeBonsa, Scott, if you can get that ready. Just hang on for a second. So, and if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to hear Scotty talk about a Baylor guy that just went off last night. And he's not one that's in a Baylor uniform right now. So the guys from BYU TV, Jerem Jordan is a good dude, buddy of mine, right? So Jordan gets me to, they asked me, they're like, hey, will you come up to BYU TV? Being there, and not like I'm any kind of personality, but people know I'm there with ESPN and people know I'm doing stuff with NBC. So they'll ask you to do segments with them about the Big 12, which makes me nervous because I'm always like, okay, I'm not a former coach. I'm just going to talk about my experience and what I know, which is usually good enough. So Jerem's like, hey, can you come up here and talk with us? We're on the mezzanine level. I'm like, yeah, of course. So I go up there after I have a little bite to eat. I had a sandwich by myself, still eating alone in the cafeteria. That's fine. And then I walked out to see them. And they're like, okay, like, and these are so nice. Everybody is, I met Ben, I think his name was Ben. I met the whole crew. They got a social media team. They interview me first. And then they're like, okay, can you sit down? and I'm getting ready to do the interview, and I see everybody's eyes get like huge. And they're like, oh, and they're like, hey, Pete, can you just, do you think we can, maybe can you wait like 5-10 minutes? We got something coming up. And I look and I see there's AJ DeBonsa walking up along the concourse, and he's coming to talk to BYU TV. I'm like, hey guys, I can take a back seat to AJ DeBonsa. Like if I'm taking a back seat to AJ DeBonsa, like that's like a great day for me. If I'm in the same room with that dude, if somebody's about to interview me and they say, hey, hang on, we got AJ DeBonsa who's got to be interviewed before you, like in person, I think to myself, like, wow, we have really rebounded. I mean, 15 years ago, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. It was riddled with alcohol and drug addiction. Like, getting bumped for the second segment, to the second segment for AJ DeBonsa. I'm like, yo, that's cool. This guy's the best basketball player in college basketball. No sweat, one of us is worth $100 million. The other might have 100 in his pocket and some in the bank, but we'll see. So that was a really cool environment. And, I'm trying to think of a couple other things. Let's lead into the Baylor thing. Tunde Yesufu walks into the room for NBC. Man, he just lights it up. And he swears, he was talking to Matt McCall. Matt McCall, we each did different ones, right? He swears that he's a better soccer player than he is a basketball player. Like, this dude will tell you there's no question. He was going to play for the African national team, but basketball took over. He moved to California. He was an all-time leading scorer in California high school basketball, by the way. Okay. His mom is moving from Africa to Waco for the basketball season. Apparently she's like the best cook ever. And he can't wait for that. I will say I talked to a couple people yesterday who told me, hands down, he is a one and done. So like, if you're a Baylor fan, like he's that good, right? He's the next VJ Edgecombe. And I sat next to Scott Drew yesterday when he said 19 straight, or no, what is it? 6 straight top 19 draft picks, or maybe 7 straight. I think it's 7 straight top 19 draft picks. Somebody can correct me. But there's going to be another one, right? And it's going to be Tunde Yesufu. Now let's bring in Scotty Swingler, because Scotty, I know that you were thoroughly excited about what you saw last night. I know I talked to Murph this morning for a minute from Philadelphia, right? And all he wanted to talk about was VJ Edgecombe.
Listen, buddy.
Listen.
I knew VJ Edgecombe had the game that could translate to the NBA. But had you told me yesterday afternoon he was going to break LeBron's first quarter scoring record as a rookie, and he was going to have the most points in a debut since Wilt Chamberlain did it before my very father was born, Pete. 66 years. He has the best scoring debut in the NBA in 66 years. Do you know how much the game has changed in 66 years? I would not have believed you, man. Unbelievably cool to watch as a Baylor fan. VJ not just play well, but light the NBA on fire.
He made it look easy. Easy.
Listen, I'm going to have to find the clips. And had I had more time between last night and this morning, I might have done it today. I joked with you, and it was a joke, Pete. It was a joke at the time. I'll say that now. Maybe in 2 months, I'll say it was serious. That the Mavs should take VJ instead of Cooper Flagg. This morning, that joke feels really good. It feels really good. I still think Cooper Flagg could be good, but golly, man, VJ looked like he belonged, didn't he? He really did.
Well, he made it look easy. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about this morning, about like seeing Koa Pete, being shoulder to shoulder with AJ DeBonsa, seeing Tunde Yesufu walk into that room yesterday. These are not like long, lean guys who you would say, oh, in a year or two, they'll be ready for the NBA. They're ready right now because of their strength. VJ, the same way. Like when you look at his body, he's beyond wiry. He's strong.
Yeah.
And like, he's He's ready. He is ready.
Well, and I even saw a couple, and I love some of these folks that said this to me, but a couple people responded to me on X like, well, why didn't he do it at Baylor? It's very simple. The college game is condensed. The court is not as big. The lane is not as wide. The NBA is a more spread out game. And what does that create for VJ? Space to do what he does best, which is get in the paint and get to the rim. I mean, we knew that last year at Baylor because he would do it 2-3 times a game at Baylor where he would just all of a sudden explode to the rim and dunk on everybody's head. And it's incredible to watch. And that kind of game, we've seen it with several others, right? From Michael Jordan probably being the GOAT at this kind of play to Anthony Edwards more recently. Like, in the NBA, if you're that quick and that explosive, you can get to the rack. And VJ, I don't expect him to go average 30 a game this year, okay? But he made a statement last night, which is I belong, and it was delightful, man.
Would you watch Sixers games now?
Yeah.
To see VJ? You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I regret it. I almost turned it on last night, but I had a lot to work to do to prep for this show on Saturday that I do, and I was distracted by some other things. I'm like kicking myself that I didn't have it on. So
well, it was historic. It was historic.
It was, and I was going to say that to you this morning, Pete. We overuse the word historic. Like anybody does anything, like it was historic. We say historic like 100 times a year as sports fans.
Yeah.
This truly was. It was the best scoring debut in 66 years since 1959. Is that right? Did I do the math correctly there? Kevin's nodding that I did the math correctly.
Kevin,
since Wilt Chamberlain, the guy that scored 100 in a game, so really, I mean, you think about, man, just really cool, really satisfying.
Beyond cool.
And by the way, for the very few, I think it is a smaller pocket. For the very few Baylor fans that gripe, and we had Scott Drew address this a couple months ago on the Mosley show. For the Baylor fans, like, why do we go get all these one and dones? Oh, I wish they'd stay. Brother, there is no better marketing for your high school athletes that are trying to decide, do I go play at Duke, Kentucky, Baylor, BYU, Arizona, Houston, than that.
Yeah.
Scott Drew was retweeting every single achievement and hyping up, and then talking about Davion Mitchell's night as well to say, listen, you come to Baylor and this is what happens. We can put you straight in the league and get you prepared to start and be good in the league. It's terrific, man. Terrific. I'm very, very happy today, despite the status of my Baylor football program at the moment. Very happy with
let's do one more. Who did I talk to about? Oh, I talked to Tang a little bit about Dave Aranda. I was like, man, they're coming for Dave Aranda. And he was like, oh, he's fine. He's fine. And that's Tang for you. But I was he was cool about that. But Scott Drew, when Tunde was talking, I didn't know the whole story. I texted it to you because it was pretty cool. He was visiting everywhere, and I'm sure this is a story that's out there, but again, I hadn't heard it. I mean, his mom met Coach Drew I guess towards the beginning of the recruiting process, and Tunde fell in love with Coach Drew. His mom fell in love with Coach Drew, and she was basically like, just shut it down. Like, I don't want you going anywhere else.
I love it.
This is the guy you're going to play for. This is the guy I want you to be with. Like, no mas. And that was it. And he says it with a huge smile on his face. Like, the thing about Baylor and some of those guys.
By the way, that's sort of, not exactly, but that's sort of what happened with VJ too.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
His mom just fell in love with Coach Drew. Yeah.
Yeah, because Coach Drew's the real deal, dude.
He is. He's authentic.
Deal. Yeah. And he's going to keep your kid. Not only is he going to make him a better young man, but your kid's not going to be miserable. Like, that's a big part of the experience.
They're going to have a good time.
Yeah, I was talking to a player about that recently, a former player, about the difference, probably King McClure, but like what Coach Drew was like after a loss as compared to other coaches. Like, he's pretty good at flushing it, right? And moving on. But yeah, I think it's like, Baylor fans should be reinvigorated, because I'm not sure about the rest of the supporting cast. I'm really not. I don't know what to make of this team yet, but like, Tunde's a guy that like people all over the world are going to be watching Baylor to watch him. So we should certainly be excited to watch him, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, is Kevin? So I guess Kevin's ready. By the way, Scott, this looks pretty good. Scotty was breaking my balls about this setup earlier this morning.
No. Stop. You're
A
not
lot of pressure.
You're not going to throw me under the bus when you had a vertical phone video and you were like, "Is this okay?" And I was like, "Turn it horizontal." Now let's look at your shot. Now that it's horizontal, you're right. It looks great. If it was vertical, it looked like crap. You're not going to throw me. You're not going to throw me under the bus for doing my job. You're not going to throw me under the bus for doing my job.
Watch the Mosley show today.
I will leave. I will leave if I'm not allowed to do my job.
I think we did pretty good. All right, Kevin Hall's coming up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It looks good. You're welcome.
Scotty, I love you. All right, Kevin Hall's coming up with the picks. We're presented by Slovacics. Don't go anywhere.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at FullwellFertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at GEVI.com to discover more.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Stability.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long.
Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Sousa to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Sousa. That's S-O-U-S-A. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Oh man, Pete Sousa show. You just saw it, Underdog. It's time for my college football picks. I'm being a little bit of a hater this week. I'm going to be honest because Oklahoma and Texas, screw them. John Mateer, lower than 299.5 passing yards. He hasn't crossed 300 in 6 weeks. Arch Manning, lower than 249.5 passing yards. You seen that dude play this season? Mississippi State's going to light him up. I've got Brendan Sorsby with higher than 33.5 rushing yards against a really bad Baylor defense that cannot stop the quarterback run. He's only fallen under that mark twice in the last 6 weeks. I think against Baylor, he probably runs for 500 yards. And then Bear Bachmeier, last week against Utah, had 22 pass attempts, and it was his lowest pass attempts in 5 weeks. So I anticipate that in this game against Iowa State, he will throw the ball a few times more. I've got him with higher than 22.5 passing attempts. And again, I did the flex pick. This is great about Underdog. If 3 of these are correct, I win money. If all 4 of them are correct, I still win money. Use that promo code Sousa, and you too could win some money on Underdog. I'm going to bring in my friend Kevin Hall. Kevin, before you do the picks, tell us in 15 seconds what you got going on. And oops, I didn't mean to throw that Underdog stuff back up. And I'm going to let you talk while I fix your camera, and then we'll get to our picks.
I'm sure that was amazing, but we couldn't hear you. Now I can hear you.
Okay, again.
I did the mistake I usually make that mistake when Pete's in the studio chair, and I made it now that I'm in the.
All right, here we go.
Sorry, folks.
Here we go. You mentioned how bad Arch Manning is, but there's another quarterback that's doing really good. His name is Fernando Mendoza. And so he plays for IU. This is the golden era of Indiana sports with IU football. The Pacers going to the finals, the Fever, the Colts doing really good. And there's only one place that you can actually get all of that digested for you. That's All Indiana Sports on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. That's it.
Man, but look how good these cameras look now, Pete. Look how quickly I did that. We're all the same eye level.
It looks great. It does. Really good job.
Except this whole sound thing.
No, you're good. You sound like $1 million now.
Yeah, you sound like $1 million, Kevin.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So picks, you ready?
Oh, I'm very ready. I think I did
this
okay.
is the
last
pick
week.
six. Pete thought this was going to be a cakewalk because you didn't have to pick money line or anything. All you had to do was pick the winner. He started out 2-10, but this week, Pete, you made up some ground, and so here we go. You both picked the Rams, and you got that one. Pete picked against his team, the Eagles, and they won. That was his only loss this week. So he picked the Vikings. Scotty got the Eagles right, and then you both had the Packers over the Cardinals, and then Pete, you picked the Niners, but Scotty went with his Penix Jr., who also played for IU Falcons, and then Scotty also picked the Bucks, and they didn't get it done against
That
the Lions.
one was the most disappointing game of the weekend for me. I was watching the fourth quarter of that game like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And it never happened.
Never happened. Look good, feel good, play good for the Lions in their blue helmets and black jerseys. And then you both had the Seahawks over Houston, and that happened. And then in our bonus game, Scotty, you've joined me on the IU football train, but you're still not on with the Colts. What about now? Because you picked the Chargers, and Pete, you picked the Colts. So that means Pete went 6-1 this week, made up some ground. He's now 8-11. Scotty 9-10, only one game up. If you want to see our picks on our show, All Indiana Sports, I'm 22-20, and Liam is leading the pack with 23-19. We've slipped a little bit since we've been on your show, so hopefully we can pick it up. I wasn't going to say it.
Bad juju.
All right, this week's picks. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, we start tonight. Vikings at Chargers. The Chargers, do we want to talk about the Savannah Banana uniform that they had?
It's bad.
This week is the Navy. It's what it should have been. They should have never done
Navy throwbacks are sick.
Yeah, they should have never done the banana boat ones. But so Vikings at Chargers. Let's start with Pete since he's not here. Go for it, Pete.
Chargers.
Yeah. Scotty? Chargers. All right. So both these teams coming off a loss. So and then we got Bills at Panthers. Can you believe that both of these teams are actually doing well? And you would say, well, yeah, of course the Bills are, but the Bills on a 2-game losing streak before they headed into the bye. Scotty, what do you think?
This is the get-right game. Terrell Bernard's going to have 12 tackles and an interception, but it will be close, and they should be on upset alert. Give me the Bills.
There you go.
I like Buffalo as well.
All right. Sounds good. Then the next game is another revenge game. It is the Giants at the Eagles. The Eagles in their classic Kelly greens. I'm sure you love that, Pete. This is the question. Can the Giants do it again with what I'm calling scatadart?
Workshop that.
Yeah.
All right, Pete.
Sounds like your adult film name, dude. That's kind of weird. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Don't pick against them anymore. Got it.
No.
Scotty. What do you think? Oh, he had to think about this one.
Eagles. I would have said Eagles, and I wanted to pick the Giants just to go against Pete, but I think the Eagles are going to win. Yeah.
Wrong place to pick against Pete. All right, I think that's right. All right, then the next game is the Cowboys here in Texas taking on the Broncos in Denver. Denver's in their throwbacks with the nice bright blue and the horse coming out of that big D on the side helmet.
Jeez, again. I will say, Kevin, man, what the heck?
I get to go first on this one, right?
It's Scotty's turn to go first on this one. Hold on.
Let me catch my breath.
Nothing the Cowboys does this season makes sense. Denver is still my Super Bowl pick. Denver.
All right.
By the way, is Liz in there? Is she hearing this? Because this is right in her wheelhouse. This is kind of like
she's dying in the corner. Don't worry.
The stuff she likes to give us some grief about. I like Denver in this one, no question about it. The Cowboys are getting better though. The Corey Williams was the guy I was talking to, a former Arizona player. He's like, the Cowboys are back, and he's like, he can be a miserable Cowboy fan. So there's optimism around the Cowboys. There is.
Nah.
So there's optimism around the Cowboys, but you're going with the Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos, dude, on the road in Denver, Broncos are playing well. I mean, that's just a common sense pick.
All right, so you got the big D over the big D. Then we've got, you're welcome, Sunday Night Football, the Packers at the Steelers. The Steelers are in their 1933 throwbacks. There's no Steeler throwback that actually looks good, and this is included in that. The yellow helmet for the Steelers. Classic matchup, ugly throwback. Pete, you go first.
Well, I'm taking Green Bay, and I'll tell you why. One, because I think they're the better team. And two, I'm flying into Pittsburgh last night. It was really late. This crew is getting off the plane with me. It's a dad, a mom, and their 3 kids, and they all have Packers jerseys on. It's all right. It's Wednesday. They're in town for the long weekend. They probably love Aaron Rodgers, and they're there to see Green Bay and Pittsburgh. And I was thinking, like, man, what a huge game. But I like the Packers as a better team, and they're going to have some extra fans there too. So that's pretty cool.
All right, so you got
finally
over Aaron Rodgers. The
finally, let me channel a hero of mine. Not so fast, my friend. Pittsburgh wins this game by 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw 4. I'm taking the Steelers.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say so. Okay, last game, Monday Night Football. This is maybe not so intriguing as it was a couple days ago.
Correct.
Because Jaden Daniels is not coming in the game now. But you have the Commandos at the Chiefs, Monday Night Football. So no Jaden Daniels, but who was he going to throw to anyway? Honestly, their receiving core is so decimated. With all that set up, where we at here? Scotty's first.
Kansas City. They've got all their weapons. I think they might be Super Bowl favorites again when they have all their weapons healthy. So yeah, give me Chiefs big.
All right, Pete.
Yeah, I'm KC as well. Chiefs big in this one. Yeah.
All right.
I think they found their rhythm.
Well, there we go. We'll see what happens, and I'll be back next Thursday.
Anything going on with Caitlin Clark? Oh, I saw Sophie Cunningham wants to be in the Victoria's Secret runway thing. I can't hear him again. I can't hear him. Can you hear me to say that I can't hear him?
Oh my God.
You did it again.
I hate everything.
You got it?
Yeah.
We back? Okay.
I just have to sit here on camera.
You can eliminate your camera and keep the sound if you turn the camera off. But
I want to get your thought on this.
Okay.
Have you heard about that? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where the WNBA CBA has landed us that the players are now resorting to underwear modeling as their career choice because the WNBA doesn't care about them anymore.
If you got it, flaunt it, man. Angel Reese look great, and I saw Sophie Cunningham in a clip talking on her podcast. Like that's been a dream of hers for years,
right?
And that's what she wants to do next year. Yeah.
Who knows?
So, yeah, I would guess we would see her next year. All right, from all of us at the Pete Sousa Show, for Kevin Hall, for Scotty Swingler, for Chris Visser in a land far away, I am Pete Sousa in Pittsburgh. We'll be back tomorrow talking Cowboys, previewing that Denver game with Babe Laufenberg. Thank you all so much for watching the Pete Sousa Show. I have to go. Scotty has business. God bless.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Show. Sports.
Our professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.